What's up guys? Today I have a first impression for you. You've probably seen this in your local drugstore if you frequent the Rite Aids or the CVS's or the Walgreens. I think it's in Target too. Mercier Detangling Brush. Now they sell 3 different types of these detangling brushes. One for fine hair, one for normal hair, and one for thick hair. Alright, let's see if there's any directions on here. Not for use with hair dryers. The best results: replace brush every 6 to 12 months. Okay. It's used for quick detangling, pleasant brushing experience, reduced hair loss, and breakage. Nice. So this would be a rival to the Tangle Teezer and the Denman brush. I want to try this the 2 main ways that, we detangle our hair, which is in the shower with lots of conditioner, and then I'm going to try it outside the shower on wet hair. So I already have my bathing suit on. Let's get in the shower. So I just drenched my hair and I'm going to add my favorite conditioner. I'm going to do a small section at a time. I'm going to start from the bottom. Ugh, this thing is so slippery. My hands are full of conditioner and I can't get a good grip wiping my hands off. So I'm just going to kind of go for it here, starting at the bottom and working up. Oh, that's nice. Sounds a lot like the Tangle Teezer. You know that ripping sound that the Tangle Teezer would have? So I did a really nice job of clumping my curls together. Wow, look at that. Not a lot of shed hair left over, which is nice. Yeah, I did a good job. I'm going to try a larger section to see if it's able to handle a large amount of hair. Okay, I'm actually afraid to keep going. I don't want to rip out my hair, so I'm just going to keep doing smaller sections. It takes a while to detangle. It's not a fast process at all. There it goes, it clumps up the sections nicely, and you don't lose a lot of hair, which is great. So I kind of want to compare the 2 and see if it detangles better or worse than the Denman. I'm going to grab the same size section here, starting from the ends, and I'm going to work up. Yeah. These are the clumped curls with the Denman brush, a slightly larger section with the Denman. Yeah. I mean, the Denman just detangled my hair so much faster. Yeah. It's really hard to get a grip on this brush. I had no problem gripping the Denman brush, but check out the difference in the handles. You see there's like a little area for your hand to rest where this goes straight down and your hand just keeps sliding down the handle. Okay. I'm just gonna use the Denman to finish this because it's taking way too long. With the Tangle Teezer. I'm having to flatten it out on my hand so that it can be less mass for the short bristles. If I'm gonna brush my hair, it's usually outside of the shower, and I usually only do it if I'm doing a roller set or I want a really defined curl former set. So I'm gonna do the exact steps that I would use with my Denman brush using the Michel Mercier. Small section, grab a little bit of shea butter, work that into the section. Before I use the Denman brush, I always comb my hair out with a wide tooth comb. I've already finger detangled my hair in the shower too. Okay, starting from the bottom and working up. Oh, so it's nice outside the shower. Ow. Still not good on the roots though. I think I just probably pulled out some hair. There we go. Wow, it's nice. Yeah, it's better outside the shower. I've got so much going on in my head right now. Shea butter, comb, and then the brush. Still having trouble holding it because my hand is sliding down the handle. I'm gonna try the same size section with the Denman brush so I can compare. So my shea butter, the Denman brush. Which just, I mean, it's just easy. I don't know. Denman brush just glides right through. And the Tangle Teezer. Yeah, I prefer the Denman brush or the Tangle Teezer. Tangle Teezer's bristles are really short. Okay, so now that I'm looking crazy, I'm gonna go set my hair and I'll come back to give you my thoughts on the Michel Mercier brush and also how I compare them to the Tangle Teezer and the Denman brush. So this is a brand new day. My hair looked crazy from brushing it like 10 million ways, but I wanted to make sure I came back and gave you my official opinion of the Michel Mercier Detangling Brush. All in all, does it do what it claims? Yes. It quickly detangled my hair. It was a pleasant brushing experience for the most part. I mean, there are some times when it did snag on my hair, especially at the end. And did I see reduced hair loss and breakage? I guess in comparison to a different brush, sure, yeah, I did. So it does do what it claims, and therefore I would say that this is a very good detangling brush. Another great feature of this brush is that it also tends to clump my curls together, making them more defined. So that's another great feature that they don't talk about on the packaging, which is nice. It's a nice added bonus. But beyond the first impression, I also did want to compare it to the Denman and the Tangle Teezer. So in comparison to the Denman brush, I feel like the Denman brush is better. I modified Denman brush anyway. At the Denman brush, the bristles are just longer. It's easier to get into my hair. It detangles my hair faster. I don't feel like I'm pulling on the ends a lot. And it's just easier to hold. One huge fault of this brush, the design of it. Like, there's nowhere for your hand to sit, especially if I have a lot of product on my hand, or even if it's just slippery from water. My hand just slides down the base and I can't get a good grip on it. The Denman brush detangles my hair a lot faster, and it also clumps my hair. So if I put these two head to head, I would say that the Denman brush would win. The Michel Mercier versus the Tangle Teezer, I don't know, it's a pretty good match. The bristles are pretty much the same length. They're a little bit thicker on the Michel Mercier, but honestly I do feel like the Tangle Teezer gets through my hair a little bit faster. I don't know what it is about this brush, but I was having a really hard time at the ends and working my way up. Once I got past the ends, it was fine, but I also like the design of the Tangle Teezer better. I'm able to grip this and really make fast work of detangling my hair, whereas this I'm like constantly sliding down or trying to figure out where to hold it. All in all, does the Michel Mercier beat the Tangle Teezer? I feel like they're pretty evenly matched, honestly, but I do think that this has a little bit of edge because I can hold it better. If you put all three of these up against each other, I would prefer to use a Denman brush. But again, if this is just a first impression on the brush alone, it does do what it says. I think the price point on this, oh snap. Wow, really? The price point of the Michel Mercier brush is $15.50. Really? I think the Denman brush is $10. And I believe the Tangle Teezer, I believe this was $9. $16 for a brush that's just okay. Not really feeling the price point. I think that they should lower, especially when you have the Denman brush on the market for less and the Tangle Teezer, which have both been out longer. I think that's kind of silly. So that's my first impression review. You know, it kind of sucks that there's already brushes on the market that do a similar job to this or better, that I can compare it to. If I didn't have anything to compare it to, I'd say it did a great job. But since I do have something to compare it to, I say it's okay. I hope that this review helped you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Check out more first impressions like the Curl Formers dupe review and the Kevin Murphy Shimmer Bug highlights by clicking the link to the left. And if you're into daily vlogs, click the link to the right. I'll see you guys there. Hot in here. I thought I lost my mind.